I call this meeting to order of the Union County Board of County Commissioners, Thursday, May 6th, 2021, agenda setting meeting. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Chairman. Commissioner Garrettson.
Here.
Commissioner Granados.
Here.
Commissioner Hudak.
Here.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Here.
Commissioner Leone.
Here.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Here.
Commissioner Staton.
Here.
Vice Chair Williams.
Here.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Here.
Chairman, you have 9 commissioners present for today's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, while we're putting our video back on, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of the New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstance to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Good evening and welcome to another remote meeting of the Commissioner Board. It's been an eventful few weeks as we've been rounding the corner into warmer weather, getting into spring. We have some items to report. Besides the improving weather, the first thing on everyone's minds is the governor's announcement of the easing of restrictions over the next few weeks. But while this is very exciting news about moving ahead with our lives, we must continue to be vigilant, avoid big crowds, take precautions in enclosed areas, wear your masks, and continue to wash your hands on a regular basis. In regard to our vaccination efforts, the County of Union has begun targeting under-vaccinated communities in order to achieve herd immunity. While many people who wanted a vaccine have already received one, we are making a renewed effort to reach certain population groups and urban communities, and we will reach out to them specifically to vaccinate. We are taking a community-wide approach to building partnerships that will build and boost our vaccination numbers. The full outreach plan is as follows. The county is partnering with area hospitals, churches, schools, community organizations, and youth groups to build lists and target anyone who doesn't have a vaccine to this point. We will transition to a new registration website for vaccine appointments. The county will also begin its vaccination program for homebound residents that we did 2 weeks ago. Anyone wishing to get on the list can still call the county's Division of Aging and Disability Resources at 1-888-280-8226 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. We are working with Union County College and Kane University to vaccinate staff and students at the vaccination center at Downs Hall, Kane University and Union. At the end of May, we are seeking to launch a door-to-door campaign and launch mobile vaccination clinics to serve residents in Elizabeth, Plainfield, Roselle, Linden, Hillside, and other areas. Speaking of May, we're also marking National Nurses Week beginning today until the 12th. We have a resolution on tonight's agenda. We continue to thank the many nurses and emergency personnel who have served this county so well during this entire pandemic. Our food distribution program is also continuing. We have an upcoming food distribution slated for this Saturday, May 8th, beginning at 8 a.m. at Kane University in Union. Please go to the website for more information at ucnj.org. We're also gradually and carefully reintroducing activities in our parks. So please continue to observe rules for masks and social distancing. The Commissioner Board is so pleased to welcome Motown tribute band Shadow of the 60s into a free live drive-in concert. Shadows of the 60s will take place and take the stage at 6 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, May 15th at Cedar Brook Park in Plainfield. The event is free, but registration is required online to reserve a spot. Reservations will be available on a first come, first served basis beginning 9 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, May 7th, on the county website, ucnj.org/reserve. More shows are upcoming and will be listed on the website. As we celebrate the rebirth of life during the springtime, we received exciting news on the 2 peregrine falcons that are nesting on top of the Union County Courthouse, the highest building in our county. The falcons have increased their family with 4 newly hatched chicks. They are doing well. The first checkup from wildlife experts is that they are doing well. They are not members of the county family, but they might as well be. You can watch this online by tuning into the free county live stream, ucnj.org/falcon. I know many students and from students and seniors alike like to see the progress of our falcon family. Now let's turn directly to the tonight's business on our agenda. And I will start by asking our prosecutor, Prosecutor Rotolo, to present the resolutions for the prosecutor's office. Prosecutor Rotolo.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. The Office of the Prosecutor has 2 resolutions for your consideration this evening, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Madam Prosecutor. Let's see if there's any questions from my colleagues. I do not see any, so thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. We'll move to the Board of Elections, and that is our Administrator, Nicole Dorado.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. The Election Board has 1 resolution for your consideration this evening. Be very happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Administrator Dorado? Madam Administrator, I do have a question. If you can give kind of a high-level overview of the voting process for the primary. I know in my family, my daughter's on a regular list to get a vote by mail ballot. And some of the rest of the family here in my house were waiting for their ballots. And I understand that may not be the case. Can you just, for the public's education, explain what's happening this primary season?
Yes, I will, and thank you for asking. The governor has determined that this year we will be back to a primarily in-person election. So we're basically going back to pre-COVID rules for election. In terms of all of our polling places will be open. Anybody whose polling place has changed or was changed last year will receive a notification from our office letting them know that they can go back to their old polling place. They could vote on their machine in person. The only folks who will be receiving a vote by mail ballot are those who are on the all future elections list, which basically means they have requested to receive one for every election going forward, or they have subsequently decided they want to vote by mail and have requested a ballot.
Okay, so for those people who have not requested this continuous vote by mail ballot, the rest of us will get sample ballots? Is that true?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, 2 questions from commissioners. I'll call first on Commissioner Hudak.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Nicole. How are you doing in terms of, for an in-person election, how are we doing with poll worker recruitment? Are you about where you were pre-pandemic or what?
Yes, we are. Recruitment's going very well. Recruitment, or in terms of interest, was actually quite high in the last general election as well. So there is a lot of interest, you know, which is great. So have a lot of people there, and we are being very mindful not to place, too many new people in one district. We are trying to spread them out to make sure that they are with seasoned poll workers.
No, that's good to hear as people return to the polls, not having that supply of poll workers who can make sure that voting goes efficiently on the machines is, probably something that would lead to long lines. So that's a very good thing to hear, especially going into the November elections. And could you just remind me, and I'm sorry if you said this already, what is the percentage now of individuals who are receiving that vote by mail automatically? Out of our total.
Right. So we have just over 353,000, and just about 35,000 have already been mailed ballots. So it's about 10%. And so far, about 2,500 voters have returned their ballots.
Okay. And that was that 10% is the same universe from, was it 2019 when they began to expand it?
Yes. Give
or take.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you, Nicole. Great job as always. Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Commissioner. Commissioner Leon.
Yes, hi. Two quick questions. I have been getting calls from friends and even a family member that are listed to receive their mail-in ballot and they have not gotten it. So what do you recommend I tell them, to fill out the application again?
They can certainly call the county clerk's office. It's the county clerk's office that issues ballots, 908-527-4996. If they were issued a ballot and didn't receive it, they would have to complete an affidavit indicating that they didn't receive it. But if they were not on the list to receive a ballot, then they would request one, or they can come to the polls on election day.
Okay, and last question. When is the last day to mail them out before June 8th? I mean, we have like a deadline.
The last day for the county clerk to receive an application by mail in her office is June 1st. It has to be in her office on June 1st by mail, not postmarked, but in her office. Otherwise, if they wanted to request in person, they can go either to Elizabeth or Westfield by 3 p.m. the day before election day.
Okay, and last question, the ballot itself, they can, if it's postmarked June 8th, they can still get it like the day after or 2 days after, correct?
If it's postmarked by June 8th, they have until the 14th to deliver it to us.
Thank you, Nicole.
Post office. You're very welcome.
You.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kowalski is next.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Administrator Dorado, I think there's also early voting, right, where people can go to the clerk's office and do an application to vote by mail, but vote right there on the spot?
Yes, that's correct. They can go right now. The vote by mail ballots are available in her office. They can vote it. They can leave it there. In Westfield, there's a drop box at the same building. All of our 24 drop boxes are open and our ballots are picked up every day from the drop boxes. They're all under 24/7 camera surveillance. So they are safe, and we work well with the county police. They provide us with a police escort, so there's no chain of custody issues when we pick up our ballots. So it is all secure and safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you. Commissioner Garrettson.
Thank you, Commissioner, President, Chair. So this has been a lot of really informative information. Where can everyone go to get this information? Is it going to be summarized somewhere? I'm sure on our website, but could you just reiterate where people can go and get this information that you just shared this evening?
They can go to unioncountyvotes.com. That is, it's the county clerk selection website, but it marries all the information for my office and her office. So it's one-stop shopping.
Thank you.
And if I may just say, voter registration deadline is May 18th. So we are approaching that also.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner, thank you. Commissioner Staten, I saw your hand up before. I don't want to make sure we don't pass over you if you don't have any questions, but I wanted to provide the opportunity if you do.
Thank you, Chair.
Nicole answered the question. It was just, are the people that are voting by mail, are all the voter registration, I'm sorry, are all the ballot boxes still at the same location? And she said yes. Thank you so much.
I had that question too. I'm glad.
Thank you.
All right, is that everybody? Commissioner Kowalski, your hand is still up. Do you have another question or are you set? Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you. No, that's all good. All right. I think everybody's all set. Nicole, thanks. As Commissioner Hudak said, on behalf of the whole board, please share our thanks with your group. I know they're working hard. I actually had an opportunity to visit with them several weeks ago and saw firsthand how hard they're working and how diligent they are and what a good solid staff that you have there, Nicole. So please share our thanks with them. Everybody's doing a great job and they're going to work really hard leading up to election and then after election. So we thank them for their future efforts too.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. You too.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the Department of Economic Development, Deputy County Manager Wagner.
Good evening, Commissioners. The Department of Economic Development has one resolution for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Commissioners. I do not see any questions, so thank you, Deputy County Manager.
Thank you.
Move to the Department of Engineering, Public Works, and Facilities Manager, and that is Director Graziano.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Commissioner. The department has 7 resolutions on for your consideration this evening. I'll try and answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you, Director. I'll recognize the Vice Chair for a question.
Thank you. Hi, Joe. So the question that I have, the Gordon Street Bridge project, there's a lot of, there are a lot of components here, several of the resolutions. So just for the benefit of the public, can you just give sort of a broad overview of what is involved in that project with all that money?
So this, thank you very much for the question. This project's been going on for years, as everybody on this board knows, back to, I mean, you go back to probably 2000, way back, but I mean, I know 2015, we started a bunch of the meetings with the municipal members and stuff like that. Right now we're getting towards the end. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. The first one I have on my agenda is for the funds. It's called the Funds Exchange Program. What that basically is that's the cost reimbursement agreement with the state of New Jersey. So that's the $9 million, $9.5 million they're going to be giving us for this project. We have some other funds that are already there. So they still have to approve the project. They have everything in their hands. That one, the next one is IH Engineering at $702,000. That's in the $9.5 million. So that's already in there. So the way that they are obtained is through like an evaluation committee. This isn't public bidding stuff. So it goes through an evaluation committee and actually prices last. So it's all done through federal rules and state rules. So we're just to go through, we're just a pass through for the whole project. So that's that one. The third one is construction support services with H&H. So that's also in the in that number. So we're getting to the end now. We're looking at probably final authorization in end of May, June of 2021. Hopefully a pre-construction meeting. September of 21. They're talking about the construction starting on this project, and it's a 24-month project from the first shovel in the ground. So hopefully this thing gets off the ground finally after all those years. And I know a lot of commissioners on this board have been part of this from the beginning. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
No, Vice Chair, thanks for the question. There's a lot of interest in both communities, the twin boroughs of Roselle and Roselle Park. Director Graziano, has there been any communication directly to those town councils? I did get some emails and I forwarded them to you, and thank you for addressing them, from some of the council members from Roselle and Roselle Park. Is there any overview or synopsis that we can or have already sent to them?
Yeah, so we sent something out to Councilman Brandon Bernier from Roselle, which basically gave him the exact information I just gave you. So it was like an overview of what's going on as far as the dates, the timeline anticipated of May being the authorization, June being the pre-construction, September being the start, and 2 years from now of that being finished. So that was everything sent out. There was also a bunch of stuff that had to go through PSE&G that was also sent to all the towns too, that we actually paid for that part of the job. The county did. As far as the right of ways, we had to pay for that stuff. So.
All right, well, let's do this. Whatever you put together for the councilman in Roselle, can you address that same information to the mayors of both towns and the administrators in both towns?
Of course.
Because I think that I saw it. It was very well done. That's how I know you addressed at least the councilman's questions. But I just want to make sure that both communities are well aware of everything we know at this time.
Not a problem at all. I'll send that up.
I just copy and pasted it. It was good and succinct information, and I think will be helpful. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions for Director Graziano? Doesn't appear to be. Director, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners.
Good. And we will move to the Department of Finance, and that is Director Taylor.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. The Department of Finance has 4 resolutions for your consideration this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Director, thank you. Any questions for Director Taylor? Director, it doesn't appear to be any, so thank you. We'll move on to the Department of Human Services. Director Debbie Ann Anderson. Hi, Director.
Hi, good evening, Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Human Services has 3 resolutions on, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions for Director Anderson? I see Commissioner Granados. Please, Commissioner.
Thank you, Chairman. Director, can you just elaborate on number 3, please?
Sure. This Janus Solutions is a consulting agreement working with the Division of Social Services doing the reassessment. So it's really focusing the division on how to restructure work, not pre-COVID, but during recovery. What we've noticed through, as you know, social services is really working with people, we have an increase. Over 10% of Union County residents now have applied to food stamps or are on food stamps. So how do you shift, you know, what before was just an application process, but how do we become to break down barriers? And this consulting group is going to be focusing our team on how do we do more intense case management. What does that look like to get individuals back to some form of self-independence and self-sufficiency?
Sounds great. Thank you much, Director. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Sorry, I had the same question. Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, any other questions for our esteemed director? All right, Director, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let's move to the Department of Parks and Recreation, and that is Director Zuber.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The Department of Parks and Recreation has 4 items on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Director. We'll call first on Commissioner Hudak. You're on mute, Commissioner.
Sorry about that. Good evening, Director. Could you go into number 4, the Clark Reservoir grant?
Sure. This is going to be the initial phase of our rehabilitation project at the Clark Reservoir. This is going to do testing of the sediments on the 3 lakes that make up the Clark Reservoir. When we get that data back, we'll know how we're going to proceed with working on each section of the Clark Reservoir, basically. So this is getting testing and analyzing all the various options that we'll have, dealing with organic sedimentation, dealing with what we might have to dredge, and then dealing what can be handled with the desiltation process.
Right, and so this is directly the funding that was earmarked in last year's state budget. Correct. That the county received.
Yes.
Great. So we're not just applying and hoping to execute it. We're getting these dollars. It's real in the budget.
We got the letter from the governor's office actually this morning.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good news there. And then in regard to number 1, the purchase of, this is just for the new furniture for the Red Knot renovation?
It is. Go ahead, Armando.
Yes, that's for the new furniture that's going to be replacing the old furniture at the Red Nut, correct?
Okay, and everything's state contract.
Correct. Everything's off a state contract, correct.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions for either director? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We will move on to the Department of Public Safety, Director Moran.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Department of Public Safety has 3 resolutions for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Director, thank you. We'll move directly to Commissioner Granados. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chairman. I know, Director, we spoke earlier in reference to number 1 and number 2. If you can just elaborate on this lead initiative program you plan on doing.
Thank you. This is a first for our health department since we have expanded our shared services agreements with municipalities. We're more involved in providing local health services, which these 2 pieces of equipment is critical to. It's part of our childhood lead exposure prevention program. So in cases where children test positive for exposure to lead, which is required by the state that they're tested by the pediatrician regularly, our health department would be notified. They could go out into the household and with these devices detect lead in paint, dust, or consumer products such as babies' toys or furniture. So there's last year there were about 75 cases of lead poisoning throughout the county, and we'll be conducting health education throughout the year to educate our residents on the dangers of lead prevention. While there's no cure for someone exposed to lead, it's 100% preventable with education and the right tools.
Thank you, Director. I think it'll definitely be beneficial to a lot of the households too that are their homes that use lead paint, etc. So helping out, making sure that we're doing our part at county level. So thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Granados. Vice Chair Williams.
Hi, Director Moran. Just a quick question about number 3. Can you give us, just for the public benefit, just sort of an overview of the timeline for the dispatch center and just whatever else might be relevant there?
Certainly, we're really excited about this program. Our last dispatch expansion was about 10 years ago, and it involved 9 dispatch consoles. This expansion will set us up for the foreseeable future for dispatch needs as a shared service. We're going to have 33 consoles. We're hoping to have a kickoff meeting. We'll start scheduling one tomorrow. We'll reach out for the contractor if this resolution is passed by the board. And we're hoping to have the project completed around the 1st of the year.
And then just one follow-up. So theoretically, when you say the foreseeable future, if the balance of municipalities decide to use the dispatch center, this would accommodate all of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I don't see anyone else with questions for Director Moran, so I'll thank him. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
We'll move to Commissioner-sponsored resolutions. Any comments from the board on those? Doesn't appear. I will note National Teacher Appreciation Week in Union County and thank our teachers, including our own Vice Chair and Commissioner Leone with her experience in education, Commissioner Garrettson certainly working for NJIT, and all of us teach various things to various people, but in particular, I'll mention and point out those 3 of our amongst us. If there's nothing else, I believe we could entertain a motion to adjourn this agenda meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kowalski, second by Commissioner Leone. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Chairman. Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yeah.
Commissioner Leone.
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative for the adjournment.
All right, very good. We are adjourned. Mr. Clerk, do you need any time before we go right into our regular meeting?
Chairman, we can go directly into our meeting.
All right, so with that, I will call this meeting to order, the Union County Board of County Commissioners, Thursday, May 6, 2021, regular meeting agenda. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Here.
Commissioner Hudak.
Here.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Here.
Commissioner Leone.
Here.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Here.
Commissioner Staton.
Here.
Vice Chair Williams.
Here.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Present.
Chairman, you have 9 commissioners present for the regular meeting.
Very good. Can you please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. While we were putting our videos back on, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstance, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2021 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. May I now have a motion to approve the communications?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Chair. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second.
All right. Seconded by Commissioner Staton. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes.
Commissioner Leone. Commissioner Leone.
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, that's 9 votes in the affirmative on the communications.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'll now entertain a motion to suspend the rules to allow for the joining of both public comments on resolutions being offered for adoption and the public comments for any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of our county into one public meeting comment. May I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hudak and seconded by Commissioner Kowalski. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes.
Commissioner Leone. I did see yes. Commissioner Leone.
Aye. Aye, aye,
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative for the suspension of the rules.
Mr. Clerk, please note that Commissioner Leone voted just 1 aye, not 5. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Thank you very much. So I'll open the meeting to the public now to anyone wishing to speak on resolutions being offered for adoption or on any other matter. We will have a timer. There is a 5-minute time limit that will display the live stream indicating green. At the 4-minute mark, the display will turn to yellow, and then please end your comments at the 5-minute mark. Mr. Clerk, is there anybody that has emailed any comments that we want to read into the record at this time?
Chairman, I only received one email, and the individual is present on our in our queue.
Okay, so who's that person? We'll open up the phone for that person.
Certainly, it's Mr. Bruce Patterson.
All right, Robert, please invite Mr. Patterson to be present, and Mr. Patterson, you're now eligible to give your comments.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Commissioner Board. This is Bruce Patterson, Garwood, New Jersey. Resolution 327. Here's a resolution for more construction of the UC Dispatch Center, and you did talk about it, for another $3.3 million. In keeping track, this brings up the total dollars spent on the dispatch center to a huge amount of $9 million, and that's not including the operational costs. Whole buildings actually can be built for $9 million. This is what happens when you trust Union County government with a potentially good cause, but just it turns out to another costly boondoggle and a sad failure. So it ends up garnering no savings to the towns, and sadly too late to go back to the towns taking care of their own dispatch duties. At least a spark of good comes with resolution number 348 below, which the county is receiving a $150,000 grant towards a dispatch center. Resolution 328. This reso's wording needs clarification. It reads something like publication of notice for $3.6 million in college 2021 bonds for continuing disclosure of financial information in connection with electronic bidding. Since Commissioner Hudak is finance chair, the public would like him to explain just what is taking place here. Resolution 332 through 335. These all have to do with the Gordon Street Bridge, which I must commend you for taking on the task of replacing this orphan bridge that no one else wanted to do. In April, your Mr. Minio noted that the total bridge cost could be about $10.6 million, and it appears to be on track to that number. One question is, Reso number 332, this appears to be something called the Funds Exchange Program with the DOT for $9.5 million, and it was kind of explained to that, but unsure what it is, and it sounds like we are being granted $9.5 million free and clear, offsetting our costs. And I guess the last question on that is, was railroad construction still on as the contractor, and was that a competitive bid? Resolution 341, more money being dumped in the black hole of the Red Knot restaurant renovation at Gallagher Hill. This one, $67,000 for furniture. This pushes the total cost of renovation now towards $600,000 to a restaurant that was only open 7 years. The question we need to know is, what happened to all the existing expensive luxury furniture at the restaurant? This is turning into some boondoggle. Resolution 343. This one I can't believe it. We are spending nearly $80,000 just for design and administration services for the Caxton Memorial Azalea Garden at Warren-Ankle Park. Question, how much total monies is this garden costing the taxpayers? Why couldn't the county DPW just plant a bunch of azaleas for $500 and call it a day? Where are the master gardeners or the Rutgers Cooperative? Just another costly boondoggle for the county government who can't even handle planting a garden. This one you have to vote no on, or at least exhibit some integrity of leadership. Resolution 347. You originally allocated about $3 million for a total mail-in election coming up, and now they're not doing it per the governor. How much will be actually saved going back to the pre-pandemic type voting? Also, general comments. We are looking at an executive session about potential litigation for our ADA audit and transition plan. Please give an overview to the public about this. As the final comments, that in this county, we residents, well, the ones that actually follow the county, see so many boondoggles and so much waste the county just keeps throwing money at to resolve issues. We found this county is run solely by politics, which results in profound ineptitude with an occasional good action thrown in. Perhaps the national push to have more women on board should result in better leadership and integrity. From the budget cycle, the county has a recurring free cash flow of over $100 million each year, and now will be even more with the closing of the county jail. Sadly, this money, instead of certain amount going back to the taxpayers is stolen by the commissioners to pay for their myriad boondoggles, waste, abuse, self-serving, and apparent inherent corrupted system that Senator Scutari, the county political boss, has created. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Patterson, let's move right on to answering some of these questions that have popped up. 327, Director Moran, can you address that, please?
Certainly, Chairman, through you, you know, my calculations for our first dispatch expansion was 1.2 million. With this resolution, it's going to be a total of 4.4. I'm not sure where Mr. Patterson gets 9 million from, but this is absolutely, there's two reasons for a consolidated dispatch. One is to improve efficiencies in scarce public safety resources, which many agencies recognize. And the second is to improve services. The dispatch center definitely cuts staffing on municipal levels by our calculations. You know, just out of the 14 agencies we dispatch for, we reduced, municipal agencies were able to reduce their staff by 11 personnel. And hard to quantify is dollars not spent. Agencies that come to us for 911 dispatch don't have to buy expensive equipment for computer-aided dispatch, for 911 systems, for communication systems. That's a little harder to quantify, but our municipal partners, you know, weigh all that and make the decision to come to this county dispatch, and they see the value both in efficiencies and improved product. So.
All right, good answer, Director. Excellent. And those communities, I can assure you, that are taking advantage of the dispatch center are saving hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. So it's an exercise that's well worth continuing and expanding. And I applaud you in your efforts to establish this shared services group, and it now be in the process of expanding it. It's a great idea. Good work.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to add to that, we have 5 towns now that we do full service for. That's police, fire, EMS, and 911 dispatch. We have 5 towns that we just do fire and EMS dispatch for, and 4 towns that we do medical call screening for and pre-arrival instruction. So it's a variety of services that we provide. Our municipalities weigh that and see what will enhance their operation, and then decide what their contract us for. So
right, so a majority of towns are taking advantage of some fashion of the dispatch center, and that's a good thing. And as they get more comfortable, we've seen their different services expand to other agencies within their township. So
absolutely,
that's terrific, Director. Thank you for that additional information. I'm going to turn Resolution 328 over to the Finance Chairman, who delivered a 0% tax to this county and is doing a terrific job. Commissioner Hudak, you want to tackle that?
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. The $3.6 million are Chapter 12 college bonds, which were certified in March of 2019 by the Board of School Estimates when we had our meeting that year. The same amount was adopted in the part of the county ordinance 808-2019, which was adopted on July 25th, 2019. The county received a letter from the state treasurer in January of 2020 awarding us our allocation of $3.6 million. And we were going to bond them as part of the 2020 bond sale. However, the county was then informed in May of 2020, when we were at the height of the pandemic, that due to the uncertainty surrounding the state budget at that time, the governor's office suspended the Chapter 12 program. So we received a follow-up letter in September 30th, 2020, stating the plan that the Chapter 12 bonds originally scheduled to be issued during the fiscal year 2020 can now be authorized for fiscal year 21 by June 30th, 2021. the county's college bonds Chapter 12 sale is scheduled for June 3rd, 2021. And this resolution authorizes to undertake the bond sale, and we will be using electronic bidding, which is the norm. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay. Nope. Thank you, Commissioner. Keep up the great work. We'll move to 332. Director Graziano, can you try to answer some of that question best you can?
Sure, Chairman, through you. The question you have for 332, again, is regarding the funds exchange program with the DOT. So this is the actual agreement between us and the state for the money, for the $9.5 million that we're going to be getting for this project. The other question he asked was, is Railroad Construction still on the job? And yes, they are. They are still the contractor of record. They will be performing the construction on the project, and we are getting granted $9.5 million. We will getting, the bridge isn't costing the county anything except for the relocation of the utilities. That's it. That's the only thing that's out of our pockets.
Okay. Director, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, Director Zuber or Director Sanchez on 341.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the furniture the existing furniture that was at Red Knot will be stored at the Galloping Hill Golf Course in the main building and will be reappropriated at need be at other facilities throughout the county.
Very good, thank you. Director Zuber, do you wish to discuss the garden in Warnaco Park?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. First, a little background. The Azalea Garden at Warnaco Park was first installed and designed by the Olmsted Brothers firm, and it was installed in 1946. At that time, it had 57 varieties of plants, and it had over 3,500 plants throughout the years. When I first started in parks, it was actually a permanent area for pictures, weddings, family photos, christenings, everything was taken over there. However, in 2012, we lost our horticulture department. They were taking care of it. On top of all the other work to be done on that side of the county, that crew was trying to take care of the Azalea Garden also. And it fell into a little bit of disrepair. We're trying to bring it back because of the history that it contributes to the park and the beauty that it also brings to the park. This is a $7,900 amendment for extra engineering because we got to reroute all the sidewalks inside and they have to be staked. And that's basically the story of this particular amendment. Right now, we're sitting at $80,000 in its entirety. In the future, going forward, we're going to be working with garden clubs and 4-H's like we're doing in other parks, even in Warnaco over at the Chatfield Garden. But we got to get there first.
Right. All right, good. It's a good program to bring back. I appreciate your leadership there, Director. Thank you. Administrator Dorado, do you want to acknowledge any of the question about the potential savings as a result of going to I guess moving from an all mail-in to a hybrid kind of situation?
Of course, Chairman, thank you. Last year, our office spent close to $700,000 alone just on seasonal employee salaries and overtime for our staff. And that was above and beyond what our normal intake of vote by mail ballots would be. So that is where our expenses, the overwhelming expenses of the election board came from to administer elections during the COVID pandemic. Our office did receive CARES funding reimbursement from the State Division of Elections for our expenses attributed to our elections last year. And in addition, I was awarded a $1.1 million grant from a nonprofit organization that also assisted in many of our expenses in running last year's election. So while I can't speak for the county clerk's office, that's just a portion of a savings that we'll see in ours.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you, Administrator Dorado. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
All right. I think we're finished with that first resident. Is there anyone else, Jimmy, that's on a call?
Chairman, yes, we have a second individual. This will be the last individual in our queue, Aquane Chambliss.
Okay, Ms. Chambliss, the floor is yours.
Hello?
Hello, yes, yeah.
Hi,
Ready
okay,
for your comment.
Great. First of all, I'd like to say happy Teacher Appreciation to all of our educators who are part of the Commissioner Board. I don't care where we are in life, we got there because somebody taught us some basic things. So you and I, we are responsible for all the greatness that we have in the world, and please continue to do what you're doing. So, so first I'd like to speak to you as president of the Rahway NAACP here in Union County. I represent one of 5 branches that are here in Union County. And so first I'd like to invite everyone on the Commissioner Board to please come to Rahway, where we are crafting a very wonderful Juneteenth weekend to celebrate Juneteenth in Rahway, New Jersey. We were able to secure a grant from the county to be able to produce this weekend, which we're very, very grateful for. So we would like to invite the commissioners to please come. We have things scheduled for the 18th, 19th, and possibly the 20th. In light of Juneteenth, I'd also like to bring up something that Mr. Salam Ismail has brought up several times on his call, and that is the burning at the stake of 3 slaves in the 1700s at the site of the courthouse. And I thought maybe this would be a great opportunity in light of Juneteenth and in light of this being the first year that Juneteenth is a state holiday, that perhaps maybe we do put a plaque up at the courthouse, letting people know what actually happened at this site to 3 slaves in Union County. As we know, or we may not know, New Jersey has a very, very troubled history when it comes to slavery in New Jersey. We like to think that being in the North was safe, but out of all of the states in the North, New Jersey ranks the worst in terms of their treatment of slaves and even their manumission process. And so I think that people need to be educated on that, and they need to know our history, because people who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. So I'm not sure who I or we should talk to about that happening, but I think that would be a really great gesture on the county for the first year that Juneteenth has become a state holiday, that perhaps maybe we do put a plaque at that site. I'd like to, and I guess the Recreation Center, have they put out their applications for youth employment yet at the county? If so, if you know, we could have information on that, so we could tell a couple of youth who actually live in Rahway there's opportunities for employment this year. Also, I was contacted by the Black educators, and they were concerned because with the president's infrastructure proposal and what he put forth, they were concerned about the number of African-American students that were actually in our county trade schools, and how many of them are actually being trained and would be able to take advantage of opportunities that would be presented by this infrastructure bill. How many of them are welding and carpenters? How many of them have the opportunity to join unions? And if the money does come into our counties, are there set aside to make sure that minority owned businesses and tradesmen get an opportunity to get a piece of whatever money is coming in to do these projects? And the same with the Union County Jail. If there are savings with the jail, what is the plan for the money? Will it go into training more young people for these opportunities as well? And also, if someone from the prosecutor's office can reach out, I've reached out a couple times. We are trying to do a program called What's the 411 on the 50 to offer education to our young people in light of George Floyd, what to do if they do have an encounter by the police or stopped by the police, or have an opportunity to ask questions about their rights in a safe setting. And so I was reaching out to the prosecutor's office to see if I could get someone to come and kind of partner with the NAACP to give that workshop. And that is it for me. Thank you for allowing me to have this time.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Chambliss. Appreciate that. I can address some of those things, I think. First of all, the youth employment applications typically are channeled through Councilman Brown in Rahway. So I think that's our point of contact for the city. If anybody else has any other information on that, we can address it here or post it on our website for youth looking for employment. I imagine meaning this summer for summer employment. Regarding the infrastructure information and the whole program from the president as he's talking about it, I guess we're waiting for that all to be finalized in Washington and for guidance to be given to the state, through the county, out to the municipalities, how that's all going to work. I think we're waiting for guidance on the infrastructure component and also the American Recovery Act information. We do not have any of that at this point, so we're looking forward to that. If you could share, or I can ask our clerk to share your information with Prosecutor Rotolo, then she can connect and see if that's something that she can provide for, if she can provide any guidance or any kind of classwork for, I like the idea of a 401 on the 50. I think that's good to always be in the community and be providing information. I see our prosecutor there. Do you want to add anything, Madam Prosecutor?
Yes, I've worked with the president before and we'd be happy to collaborate again. So I have your contact information. I'll reach out tomorrow. Thank you for the opportunity.
Very good. Thank you. That was quick. Excellent job, prosecutor. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else to address, but I do appreciate Ms. Chambliss. And with that, I will close the public comment portion. And let me, I will ask for a motion now to adopt resolutions 2021-323 through 2021-363. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Moved by the Vice Chair and seconded by Commissioner Muded. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson?
Yes.
Commissioner Granados?
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak?
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski?
Yes.
Commissioner Leone?
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Mude?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams?
Aye.
And Chairman Mirabella?
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative on all resolutions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. We will move right into commissioner reports and comments, and then we will go into an executive session after that. So the first person on my list here is going to be Commissioner Leone.
Hi, everyone. I just want to share with everyone that last month I took part in my first park event with the help of Commissioner Granados, and it was very successful. I want to thank Director Anderson and the Office of Persons with Disability and Special Needs. We had a paint in the park to close out Autism Month, and it was phenomenal. This is something that's close to my heart, and we had a great time. So hopefully we'll do it again next year. I also want to acknowledge Marie Burden Noonan, who received the School Nurse of the Year Award by the Union County School of Nurses Association. That's awesome. She's an Elizabeth resident, and she's the current school nurse coordinator for the city of Elizabeth with more than 50 nurses and 40 schools under her supervision. So I want to congratulate her. I also want to mention that I thank all the educators out there, since I'm a retired educator myself, for the phenomenal job they've been doing during this pandemic and always. That's another thing that's very close to my heart. And in closing, May is the month of National Military Appreciation. So I want to thank all the military personnel for their services. I left a country that had no freedom, so this is something that I respect and I honor them from the bottom of my heart. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Leon. Commissioner Granados.
Thank you, Chairman. Just want to start by congratulating Commissioner Leon on hosting her first event in partnership with the Department of Human Services. It truly was an amazing event that was put together rather quickly and had over 100 youth with kids with special needs participating in not only creating their own t-shirts to represent Autism Awareness Month, but also kind of having that whole sense of togetherness again. While they're wearing masks, we're able to interact with one another, and it was great to see that. So I just want to thank Commissioner Leon for making sure they got off the ground and put forward alongside Manny, Nicole, and the whole entire team in Office of People with Special Needs and Disabilities. I know mentioned before, but just want to make mention again, we want to always thank all our nurses at our COVID sites throughout different hospitals that work in the school system, et cetera, for the tremendous work they do. We know that our teachers are the backbone of our society in making sure that they're educating our youth and creating a future that's going to be brighter and stronger because of their hard efforts. And when it comes to a Military Appreciation Month, we thank every single member of the armed forces for everything they've done in making sure we continue to live on the greatest country in the world. So with that said, thank you very much, Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Granados. Commissioner Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman. We had on the agenda tonight some funding for construction in Deserted Village, and I just want to congratulate Director Zuber on acquiring a grant for more than $400,000 to help with the cost of getting that work done, and also our Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs. One of the houses has inside it artwork by Roberto de la Selva, an artist from Central America, and we look forward to the day when the public will be able to see that artwork. It's not in a condition for them to see it yet, but some of us on the board and a few other people have seen it. So this is a good step in that direction. Also, I had the pleasure of presenting a resolution to Daniel Gomez of Cranford, who drove the ambulance every Saturday for 10 years for the first aid squad in Cranford. From 8 in the morning to 8 at night, he never missed a day, and quite a dedicated volunteer. And so it was a pleasure to be with him and his family. And we finished our Arbor Day poetry contest recently. So I would like to thank the Shade Tree Commission for its help with that, and all of the staff members who worked on collecting the poems and making sure that they were properly judged and processed. And we have some wonderful winners. Many of the young people of our county feel very strongly about how important trees are, and they made their feelings clear in these poems, and the winning poems are on the county website and Facebook page, so you can find them there and see just how great they are. It's quite a variety of poems. I just want to read out the names of the winners, Chairman, if you can bear with me, friends. So the winners are Madison Sartoretti, Alicia Patterson, Sahana Iyer, Taylor Trippett, Julia Papalardo, Twana Suro, Morgan Sinclair, Sharika Dar, Michelle Peda, Olivia Castro, Kayla Hill, Karen Luna, Jadalee Feliciano, Francisco Vialta Escobar, and Nila Castro. So thanks to all the students who participated and their teachers who inspired them. And thanks for all our Union County community who participated in this. Chairman, that's it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thanks for your work, not only around Arbor Day, but all year round, protecting the environment and our trees and just everything that you do in our parks. I appreciate your hard work and diligence over almost 2 decades in this county. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, it's teamwork.
Absolutely, terrific work. We'll move now to Commissioner Staton. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I too would like to just say thank you to our educators and nurses for everything you do, your service. You're greatly appreciated in Union County and throughout the state of New Jersey. So we can't thank you enough. I also like to extend my deepest condolences to our Roselle DPW department. They had a sudden passing of an employee, Kyle Stratford. He was a great employee and he will be sadly missed. Our DPW is in a lot of pain right now, but we appreciate you guys and we will definitely miss Kyle. I would also like to send my deepest condolences to my Plainfield family. One of their high school athletes was suddenly killed in a car accident. So to the Allen Jordan family, our thoughts and prayers are with you. That'll be it for me today. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, congratulations also, Commissioner, on your daughter's selection of her school. I was very excited to see that. I know she worked very hard in high school and getting ready for her college years. And why don't you announce exactly where she's headed to next year?
Yeah, she is UConn Down, the University of Connecticut, and we are very, very happy and looking forward to both of her high school graduations from Union County Votech and Abraham Clark. So
wonderful.
Hope you can join us.
That's beautiful news, terrific, and best wishes to her. They're entering her college seasons next year. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Terrific. Let's move on to Commissioner Palmieri Muted.
Thank you, Chair. And congratulations, Commissioner Staton, on your daughter's acceptance and decision. I know she was accepted into a ton of really phenomenal schools, and I know that it was her hard work and your support that got her there. So I wish her the best next year. I'd also like to recognize our nurses and our teachers this month. Again, the hard work that they put in over this past year is really second to none. Getting our children through complete virtual learning in the spring of last year, and then this year, this hybrid schedule and some virtual, some in person. They really are to be commended, and our nurses, especially those that are helping Union County get vaccinated, we can't thank you enough. I'd also just like to mention that Rahway, our Rahway pool, our Rahway River Park pool is in need of lifeguards for this summer. So if you have any high school students or college students that are certified lifeguards, they can apply for a job within the Rahway pool. They can contact our Parks and Recreations Department at 908-868-2725. And that is all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move on to Commissioner Garrettson. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, everyone. I am very excited in this month of May to acknowledge all the May 1st students who accepted different colleges. It also reminded me that we are going to need recommendations for our own speaker for our salutatorian and valedictorian program. So if members of the board have any recommendations of anyone graduating this year from college that can come and speak to our high school students, please let myself or let one of our aides know. I also want to say I'm excited that I'll be graduating 2 times this year. I get to graduate from Rutgers, Newark.
We lost, did we lose Commissioner Garrettson? Somebody kicked the plug out of her house.
It appears that we lost Commissioner Garrettson.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for the commissioner to come back to us. Why don't we move on to Commissioner Hudak?
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Staten, congratulations to Alexis. What an accomplishment for her. And we were all enjoying the college search. So I'm glad to see she chose a good school. A few items on the agenda, which I found I was very happy about tonight. I took prom pictures in the Azalea Garden as like any other Union County resident. So I'm happy to see the investment there. And I think the Director of Public Safety, Andy Moran, sold himself a little short. Because there are 14 agencies, municipal agencies, 5 towns that do everything, 5 for fire and EMS and 4 others. But that doesn't include the county agencies that are dispatched, fire and mutual aid, EMS mutual aid, the UASI Urban Search and Rescue Initiative, Kane University, Robert Wood Johnson, Trinitas, all are dispatched to the Union County Center. And quite frankly, we're at the point where we cannot expand anymore. We cannot take on additional agencies. So I disagree with the characterization of the dispatch center as a boondoggle. I would actually say it's a roaring success, and it's going to get bigger and better. And we're glad to see that this project continues. And again, I commend, and as I know other members of the board do, Director Moran and his team for their vision in this initiative. Because Chairman, we remember when it was when Fanwood was the test community, and with one became you build it and they will come, and that's certainly been a savings and a benefit to all these communities. And if I could lastly just add a comment regarding the Clark Reservoir funding, I wanted to commend Senator Scutari, who as a leader of our legislative delegation was instrumental in getting this particular piece of funding. The reservoir was acquired by the county in 2008 for $1 from Clark Township, and it's not a property we've talked a lot about, but there's been quite a lot of work that has been done in terms of getting the property ready for a point where it can be used more as a recreational center for all the residents of Union County. There was quite a bit of discussion when we were dealing with encroachments and other issues over the past 10 years that I've been on the board, so that we're at this point where we're able to do a master plan, engineering, and hopefully additional work on the reservoir to make it a real jewel in Union County, and that we can bring people to Clark and see just another fine park in the Union County system. So I'm very glad to see that on the agenda today. And lastly, extend best wishes to all our moms on the board and moms everywhere. Happy Mother's Day for this coming Sunday. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Hudak. Appreciate your comments always. I'll move to our Vice Chair, Vice Chair Williams.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to echo the condolences offered by Commissioner Staten on the death of Dijon Allen Jordan. He was one of the basketball players in most recent championships that Plainfield won state championships in basketball, and he was an international basketball star. And our community, as she noted, is in mourning for him and also for a couple of other young men who lost their lives. I also do want to congratulate Commissioner Staten on Lexi choosing to be a Husky at UConn. That's wonderful news. Happy Teachers Day to my fellow teachers and educators. And the other thing I wanted to say was that this past Saturday, Plainfield held a ribbon cutting for the Rushmore Recreation Complex at Rushmore Park at the far end of Plainfield. And I brought greetings from the board, and they were very pleased and acknowledged the county's assistance with the Kids Recreation Trust Grant in helping them to continue and move on toward completion of that project. So they were very grateful and asked me to send their greetings and their thanks once again. I hope everyone has a lovely weekend, and that's it for me. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair Williams. I just have a couple of quick comments. I first want to thank the Vice Chair for her work with our Parks Department on starting to work on that section of Cedarbrook Park for the LGBTQ safe space and safe park that we talked about early in the year as part of our initiatives for 2021. The vice chair has been instrumental in giving her feedback and her thoughts to our Parks Department. I think that's going to be a beautiful, safe space for everyone, including our LGBTQ community. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank her for all she's doing in that space. I do want to just highlight, in addition to teachers and nurses, our veterans. You know, through the great work of Congressman Series and Congressman Malinowski, they made available some pins and some designation for Vietnam veterans. And later this month, we are going to be honoring representatives of the Vietnam vets throughout our community. So I know mayors and administrators and VFWs are being called on to submit a couple of names per municipality to have kind of an event celebrating their work and their hard work during the Vietnam era and moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that. I thank the Congress people for their generosity in making that available. It's a great recognition. Next month, or actually the next meeting, we will have another designation for our veterans coming up on Memorial Day. Governor Murphy will be joining us via video for some designation that Union County has achieved honoring our veteran community. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. And I join all our commissioners wishing all the moms on this board, stepmoms, grandmoms, aunts, uncles, everybody who helps raise our youngsters deserves some spotlight on Sunday. My wife in particular, and she does a lot for the whole family, as all moms do. So thank you for all the moms out there. And with that, I believe we have a need to go into an executive session. So we will enter that executive session and then we will close the meeting and come out of it. But upon completion of the executive session, the board will return to vote from executive session, vote to adjourn the meeting. No other action will be taken. If anyone wishes to view these actions, they can do so by watching the live stream on the county's website or on the Facebook page. County Council Bergen, can you please at this time make your statement relative to tonight's executive session?
Thank you, Chairman. Pursuant to provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, a public body may enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing certain enumerated subjects. This board now wishes to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing attorney-client privileged discussions concerning potential litigation in relationship to the draft Union County ADA audit and transition plan. The minutes of the executive session shall be separated from the minutes of the open public session. The minutes of the executive session, redacted as appropriate and necessary, shall be available in approximately 30 days. The clerk of the board shall retain the original minutes until such time as the confidential limitations have been removed, at which time they shall be made available. Upon the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present, the board may retire to executive session. Upon the board's return, it may or may not take formal action on the matters discussed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, County Council. Before I take a vote to go into our executive session, I do see that Commissioner Garrettson has rejoined the meeting. Commissioner, I don't know if you want to, I know you're on mute. If you want to finish your comments, I want to certainly give you the opportunity to do that before we go to an executive session.
Thank you very much. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Go ahead, right ahead.
Difficulties. No, I was just going to invite my colleagues, if you are available next Wednesday, that's my graduation day. I do hope that if you're available, I do extend an invitation to you to join me. I also just wanted to, again, just remind folks that we will be having the ceremony for the high school students this year in about a month. So if you are interested in participating this year, we've always had great participation. So please let us know. I wanted to just give a brief update from the Commission on the Status of Minorities. It was a very robust conversation this week that talked about some of the issues, and I'm just happy that we all approved the Asian Pacific American Month. It is near and dear to all of us, but I think just that recognition just meant a lot. It came out of that commission. So there's a lot of good work that's happening. So I'm very glad to report that. In addition, I was able to do a community food distribution, the county led, and Commissioner Leon was able to join in Hillside. It was very lovely. It was the first time we did it in Conant Park. So it was exciting to see that no matter where we go, we have a very dynamic team that's able to move in and out all of the 21 towns to really do a fantastic job. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And also, just lastly, it is Nurse and Teachers Month. I was also out with educators from the sorority of Phi Delta Kappa. They are teachers, educators, and there was a walk in Conant Park. So it was just very nice to see that providing time to stay healthy, but also just to give homage was just a wonderful last couple of weeks. So those are my comments, Chairman. I appreciate you allowing me to finish them, considering my technical difficulty. And thank you very much. Have a great week.
No, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm glad you were able to get back on and finish your comments. We appreciate that. Okay, so we heard from our county council on the reason why and the allowability of going into our executive session. May I now have a motion to enter that executive session?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Chair. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Staton. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, that's 9 votes in the affirmative to go into executive session.
Okay, very good. We will be going into executive session. Robert, do. Okay, may I have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Granados, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative to return from executive.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. County Council Bergen, is there anything you need to share as a result of the executive session?
Nothing to report at this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, County Council, thank you so much. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Granados, seconded by Commissioner Kowalski. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Garrettson.
Yes.
Commissioner Granados.
Aye.
Commissioner Hudak.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Palmieri Muedad.
Aye.
Commissioner Staton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
Chairman Mirabella.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative for tonight's adjournment.
All right, nice work, everybody. Have a great weekend and great Mother's Day all. Take care.
Bye.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Thank you, Robert. Happy Mother's Day.